Hey everybody, AUSHAMMER here. This is Scott, and we've got David as well. Say hi, Dave.
Hey guys, how you going?
So basically tonight it's me and David on. We've hijacked and kicked Brinley and Ryan off, so we've got our own thing that we want to discuss tonight. We've got a few giveaways. We've got a couple other things we want to do. But yeah, let's get into it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
sweet. So tonight we'll start with news and rumors, and then we'll jump over to all our events with what David has. So for me tonight, we've got a few things and a few pretty good rumors as well. And one rumor that we found out this week that's going to chafe a few asses, if you want to coin a phrase. But first, we'll go through what we know that is released and what we're cool with. So, David, share your screen so we can we start that. So we've got
coming your way, guys.
Here we go. So this week we found out that we've got a couple of books, one called Flayed and one called Primarchs. So the Flayed one is a pretty cool little story, basically about a Necron-controlled world that does have an indigenous population, you would say, and then they get an unwelcome visit from Death Spectres, which are a Space Marine chapter, and they're basically these people are caught in the crossfire between the two. And basically, from what I can understand, the gist of the book is they're not sure which one is going to be the worst when this is all over, whether it be the Necrons or, the Death Spectres. So that's by Cavan Scott. I'm pretty keen for this one. I would like to get a copy of it. Pretty cool book. The next one we've got is Primarchs. So this is an audio book and it's in print as well. This actually has 3 books in it. So the whole book is set in the time of the Great Crusade. For Perturabo, we've got the Hammer of Olympia book. For Lorgar, we've got the Bearer of the Word, which is by Gav Thorpe. And for Fulgrim, we've got the Palatine Phoenix. So 3 books to sort of mold into one book to be together, and has been released this week by the Warhammer community. Next, we have New Terrain. Now, this is something that I found out this afternoon, pretty much. Did a little digging, and apparently there was a notice sent out to game shops to pre-order these. Now, these are apparently released in November. Now, whether I'm really hoping not, because I checked hard and looked that this wasn't April Fool's, because it just sounded a little bit too good to be true. But I'm going to go with it. So we've got the Thermic Plasma Nexus for the first one, which is all the tubes and Prometheum tanks and things like that. The next one we have is the Munitions Hub. So they're the crates that you can already get in a 3-pack, plus a few vehicles and stuff as well. The next one we have is the Age of Sigmar Desolated Township. I really like this. I could actually use this as 40k terrain. Use it as like a bombed out, basically same as a Desolated Township, bombed out little village or something with a few bits and pieces. The next one we have is Vale of Giran. Is that how you say it, David?
I'll go with you on that one.
Giran, yeah. Where have we got with that? So that's just some forest and stuff. Looks pretty cool. Not really up my alley. Would you use that, David? Is that something you'd be?
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on it. A few more extra trees around the place. Good sort of scatter terrain.
Yep.
It fills in a few bits and pieces for me.
So that'd go well with whatever you've got already.
Yeah, it should just slot in well with the existing trees, and bit neater. I mean, really, these basically look to be the exact same kit minus a bit of greenery on top. Really.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always useful in a game. I know the tree people will be pretty keen to have these. Hopefully they do a good little box set.
Cool. So that's, what's our next one? There we go. Mechanicus. Now, this has actually been released and talked about a lot a couple of months ago. I'm actually pretty pissed off that I only found this once again today. This is a turn-based game, very similar to the iPad game that you can get. God, it escapes me at the moment. Can't think, but anyway. So go to the next picture, Dave. You got that? Cool. So the gameplay for this is really cool. There's, oh, hang on.
Oh, I've just lost you, mate. Newbie hour.
Oh, how's that? We good?
Oh, there we go. Can you see that?
Yep, we got that up.
Got that one coming up. Let's go back to basics.
All right, back to the next picture, or over to the next picture. I want some screenshots to show these guys because I'm super pumped.
Are they coming up for you yet, buddy?
No, not yet. That's what I'm run with it. So basically, it's the box set of Forgebane in a computer game. It is, you know, Adeptus Mechanicus versus Necrons. The gameplay and what you get presented on the screen is immensely polished. It looks amazing. I cannot. This is like, I was keen for Forgebane. If I knew about this beforehand, I wouldn't have gone probably the way of playing Dark Angels that I have now. I would most probably have swung towards Adeptus Mechanicus, because I would have jumped into this and had a look at it first. It comes out sometime in 2018, but I would have held off my money. No, I probably wouldn't. That's a lie. Spent on other crap. But I would have tried to put aside money for this and Forgebane together. If it was released probably closer together, it would be really good. So
it's pretty sweet. We'll throw up some pics later on.
Yeah, throw them up on the Facebook page. No, that's fair. That's not a problem. Okay, so for rumours this week, we've got Codex for Space Wolves. The Codex for Orcs is apparently coming out in June. Let me do that. So yeah, Codex for Space Wolves is coming out in June. Sorry, Orcs is coming out in June. Still the 40k box set rumours and the 40k campaign book rumours. Late April for the AOS guys, we've got 2 Elves armies being released apparently, and then from there, that's about all we have for rumours. We've gone through the terrain, we've gone through all that sort of stuff. So over to you, Dave, for what events we've got for this week.
Yeah, event-wise, we're going pretty well. The guys at Battle Station Toowoomba, I was actually out in that area for work, and I didn't actually manage to stop by long enough, wasn't in the area long enough. Drove past and thought, I've got to book myself an extra day away here. So 15th of April, they got their War at the Gates for a 2K BrizCon prep, which I know a lot of guys are keen on.
A lot of prep going on at the moment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the end of April, everything's leading up to it. Everyone's keen to get in some practice, which is going to be awesome. They also put up one in the last couple of days, Fragile Alliances in May 20, which is kind of cool. I'm not a big 40k sort of player. It's 750 points doubles, where they basically assign you who you're playing with, like, per game. So it's kind of a pretty cool concept. So that'll sort of mix things up. No Lord of War, just a single detachment. So I've had a quick squiz through the decks and seen what that sort of entails, and looks pretty sweet. The good guys at Irresistible Force, they're kicking on as usual. Plenty of events jumping up on their Facebook page. They did put up one earlier On the 22nd of April, they're kicking off a Shadespire event. And I haven't seen too many of these sort of come to the forefront. So they're 22nd of April, 3 rounds at 8:30 for $10. So if you're keen, definitely hit up their Facebook page. There'll be links in the show notes as well. 7th of April, they got their 4 Sacks 2. I know we've discussed this before. 4 games a day, 1,000 points for detachments on a 4x4. So very quick, fast pace. Going to be a pretty awesome event. We've also got GoBoCon, Orky themed, love it, for 1,200 point Vanguards, match play event for 4 rounds on the 15th of April, and the Holdfast Bay Community Centre over in South Australia. I've also got one more for Sydney Slaughter, posted by the guys at Mortally Wounded. They've got a 2-day event, 2K points for the 9th and 10th of June in Club Ashfield, with some pretty cool custom scenarios that are popping up. So definitely check that one out, guys. But the main thing that's going on is really just BrizCon prep. So tickets are selling fast, running out of time to book yourself in. So if anyone's wanting to go to BrizCon, head out to the website, book yourself a ticket now. Don't be disappointed. Plenty of prep time. Get on it, and we should see you guys there.
Cool. So that's everything for tonight for events?
That's it from me there, Scott.
Cool. Alrighty. So tonight we'll go on with what our topic is for tonight, which is basically between the two of us, what armies we like within our respective games, I guess. Myself being 40k and Dave being AOS. So first I'll go with one of mine. And a little bit of how I play and why I play. I got into playing myself because I wanted something to do with the kids, basically. I've got 3 little ones, and they sort of saw what I had previously in a box a little while ago, and wanted to get back into it, and I wanted to get back into it. So we set up and started going. They've all got an army each. I've got few, but I don't really play competitively. I play armies that I like the look of, whether it's competitive or not. I like to have a few units in there that are heavy hitters, high power bits and pieces, but I don't go out to try and win at all costs. Like, I'm not a whack guy. I just paint what I like, play what I like, do what I like, bits and pieces. My first army that I played and then came back to for this, because I played a little bit in 6th as well, is Chaos. As normal, I started with the Dark Vengeance box set, and took everything from that, played for a little bit and got out. But I came back to it and came with Chaos as my first army back. Now, my favorite character within the Chaos realm or the Chaos army itself, for me, is probably Fabius Bile, the crazy primogenitor, chief apothecarian. The dude is so twisted that he does open surgeries on himself. Like, if that doesn't get your weirdo going a little bit, I don't know what will. He's just so twisted and determined to perfect what he's doing.
He's the ultimate perfectionist, isn't he?
He is. Like, he just goes through, transfers his consciousness to multiple bodies. He's talked about in the Primogenitor book himself, this body will be dead in a couple of 100 years. I'll just transfer to another one and keep going. That's the character that's really sparked and really drove me into Chaos. But then from there, I sort of branched out and did my own renegade, what they call sort of like a renegade chapter, or I just did my own army, basically. My favorite color was purple, so I basically just blatantly purpled my Chaos army just because You know, I love to play the army because it allows me, well, it's sort of, it's not so much the play style, but I get to convert and do whatever I want with the models, and you don't really get questioned onto why. Most of my favorite models that I have are ones that I've kit bashed, converted, and just painted up. And, you know, I've had, with one of them, I had a bit of help with Brinley, threw a bit of airbrush on it, and it's come up from what I think is probably one of the best models I have. From there, you know, you can make your own lore as you can with, you know, successor chapters and that sort of stuff. But if you're going with Imperium and you have a successor chapter and people don't like what your own lore is or what your own thoughts are for your own army, they have a bitch and whinge, where you don't get that much backlash and butthurt from doing a chaos army. So that's where I sort of that's why I went with it, because I hate neckbeards and widows. I'm a bit of a widow myself, but, you know, people just giving me grief for the hell of it is not really cool. My pros and cons for the army, there's lots of ways to play it. You know, you can structure it similar to an Imperium army, or you can just field a million poxwalkers and just have a horde army. You know, it's you can do whatever you want. Whether it works or not is up to you. But for me, there's such a wide range that you can do that with chaos in general. That's pretty much why I love it. The cons is when you go for a horde army, as you do with most horde armies, you just sit there and paint a million of the same thing over and over and over again. And I can see you nodding there to be like, yes, you're all about the horde army. Oh, man.
I don't know what we do that to ourselves, but we certainly have some sort of twisted sense of humor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's you know, it's the bane of our existence, but it's what we do because we love it as well. It's you know, once again, twisted up. So my favorite models for this, and I'll grab them out for you guys. One is my Chaos Lord, which is converted / kit bashed. And a few people around have seen this one. I'm not sure if you can see it really well. See if I can get some better light on that. And there we go. So it's basically just a Chaos Lord with a plasma pistol. I don't think any part of that is what it's supposed to be. Like I literally found the cloak and shoulder pad in a bits box, just wherever. I think it was one of Deep Dark bits box. I thought, oh, you know, try and use that and see how it goes. You know, went with it, and I really, really liked it. It was probably my most favorite single model that I've done by myself. The next one is my Helldrake. Now, this is my pride and joy of anything and everything I own. I jumped into my daughter's Tyranids bits box, and I basically just stuck bits in everywhere. I just grabbed a Tyranid head and some legs, and the body is from a bio cannon, I believe. You know, I grabbed a carapace, and I've got my, you know, Chaos Marine with his banner, with a piece of barbed wire chain, you know, riding it like a horse, perched on top of a broken building with a chaos shield looking underneath. And this is the wings here are what I was saying before that Brinley helped me with. He did some Xenophil on it, and then, you know, airbrushed them up, and then I just touched up little bits on the end. But, you know, I hand painted the body and the rest of it. So that's my Helldrake, actually, that I heavily converted / not even a Helldrake, but I'm using it as a Helldrake. So that's basically my first army there for Chaos. That's me. So, David, what's your one? Or your first one that you want to do?
Yeah, my first one I want to do is probably something that hasn't translated to Age of Sigmar probably too well. My original army, when I first started playing, I'm that typical gamer who started playing Warhammer through school and then sort of continued it, had the generic break, and then come back through. So I originally started out with High Elves and went nuts. It was in the era when the High Elf Magic phase would last 3 hours and you could drink the tears of your opponent as they watched unit after unit just be obliterated from the battlefield.
Right.
It was fantastic. But I got to the point of like when was enough enough? It was my first sort of horde army. I had about 19,000 points of it sitting there on the shelf, all painted in its glory. By a very
19,000 points.
Yeah, by a very young me who did not have the luxury of learning from Duncan.
Oh, the saviour.
So
God Emperor.
Very poorly painted. It was very much the 3-color minimum, and off they went. And over time, I did get rid of that army, and it's something that I sort of did regret later on, not having something to come back to.
Every day of your life, don't you? Every day of your gaming life.
I look back and went, I should have kept some of those, and it's good. And it drew me back, and I started to come back into that sort of fantasy sort of league just over a couple of years ago. And I came in at a really awesome time. It was on the back of probably a 2-year break from all things Games Workshop when life got too busy. And I came back just as they were changing into Age of Sigmar.
Yep.
So I picked up everything like 2.5 weeks beforehand going, I'm getting back into this. This is going to be awesome. I've got my plan ready. I know what I'm doing. Oh, hang on a minute. What's
and
this?
And then Age of Sigmar just come and kick in.
They just Sigmar this. So I got my first reel. I got my dragons painted. I got my spearmen done, the silver helms. Like it's all lined up, ready to go. And then they got Sigmar. And and I'm still waiting for them to have their day and come back. But I'm really keen for the Irondeath Deepkin to come back in because I really want to do an army of those guys back in. So I think I've got to admit defeat there and realise the glory days of the High Elves may not be coming back so soon.
You're not getting any of that. No, there's none of that.
That's it. They're all gone. No more Phoenix, no more pieces. And I'm really keen to look at these new Elves releases and put something together, but High Elves have always been my sort of first hobby, passion and love and labour of love.
And your first love?
Yeah, they haven't translated well to Age of Sigmar. I've played probably only 20 games with them, and I am currently with a grand total of 0 in the window. I am finding it a little bit difficult to put something together with the Battle Tome armies and just getting some sort of hitting power in there. I mean, I've got some pretty good units, usually run a cavalry force, and they do okay, but it usually comes down to just I'm beaten on attrition by a horde army or not really that sort of damage output for my liking. But them's the breaks. We'll keep playing with them. And the main reason I got into the army was all about the lore, the fluff, the fun. You know, as a young kid, it's all about magic and dragons, and we're better to start than the elf.
Than elves, yeah.
You know,
human and big-eared looking weirdo, bald, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the guys that are just so awesome, they can just jump on the back of a dragon and breathe fire across a unit and see what happens and just take no damage.
Yeah.
Seemingly just do nothing. Just reflect everything. Why not? And then just have a gigantic bolt thrower just spear some poor little guy with an arrow 3 times the size of him through his chest.
Make a hole the size of a tree trunk through his torso.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. So they're sort of that's where I started with them. love them to death, can't make it work at the moment. It's probably just me. So if anyone's got any suggestions, please message the page or let me know, because I'm not a competitive player, and I think that's the sort of, when you're playing something that's not a battle tome, I think you kind of in Age of Sigmar need to take that approach of, you need to kind of build that competitive, sort of push those boundaries a little bit, put something together. And I'd much rather sort of still run my rank and file troops and a few extra units sort of come in behind and swing around. I've still got that sort of fantasy background, which probably why I'm yet to I'm yet to rebase them too. So they're still all on 25. So that could be part of my issue moving forward. But I might have to admit defeat with the Age of Sigmar side of things, and might have to go back to the Ninth Age community on that.
Oh, you're gonna. No.
I can mention it, Ryan, so I'm here to.
No, don't go there, please. You used to be cool.
We'll get there. I'll get them rebased shortly. It'll be fine.
So, have you still got any of your high elves left? Have you got anything that you've taken back or still haven't sold on, or you've got it to throw up to give us a look at?
No, they're all basically in boxes now. My biggest work in progress at the moment is when I got back into them. I borrowed a few models off some friends to run a few lists and things like that, and I've never started my own, apart from walking into the store, picking up my order of my entire army, and sticking it on my shelf for the remaining 9 months.
What? So you just spent the money on the crack and then just shelved it?
Yep. They're sitting there, and it's going to be, I'm going to try and do 6 weeks off work and just sit down and smash out.
And try and punch out a heap of plastic in 6 weeks?
Yep, heap of plastic. That's the plan.
Damn. All right. So my second army is my Dark Angels. I've only been playing Dark Angels for a few months, to be honest.
You can mention Dark Angels, but I can't mention Ninth Age. Okay.
No. They're not heretics. They're pure. They have, everyone has their own skeletons in the closet. I'm sure Ultramarines do. Probably not as bad as DA, but whatever.
You can try and convince me. It's not going to work, I don't think. They're still heretics.
And dude, every time I pull something out of the box or out of my case, I'm like, you could bring chaos. No.
You should be chaos. You're just that. How do you combat that when you pull them out of the case? I don't know. How do you get up in the morning and go, I'm going to play my Dark Angels, and how do you get mentally prepared for that?
Yeah. It's just thick skin at the moment, and it always will be thick skin from now on, because people cry and I don't care. So my favorite character would probably be Supreme Commander Azrael. He's so stoic and staunch in his belief that he's still in favor of the Emperor, whatever else. He has such honor in not only his chapter, but what the position means to him, and the secrets that he holds because of his position. And that, to me, is a pretty cool concept. Doesn't matter what is going to happen to him, or if he gets captured, or what, if he dies, he's got someone to succeed him. But if he gets captured and tortured, whatever, he will stay solid in the fact that he will not let nothing will get to him. He would rather die than give up whatever secrets he holds or information he knows. The reason that I played it is because I love the plasma. I don't know what it is, the plasma, and
glowing objects, bright lights.
Yeah, shiny stuff. Overheating, people dying because it's overheating, blah blah blah. But not only that, but there's I myself I like the fact that you can either go with a really heavy, you know, Deathwing Terminator army, or you can go, you know, fast Ravenwing flying up the board, and making people think on their feet, or you can throw a bit of both. You know, have your bikes go right up really quickly. Have some, you know, if your opponent has moved down, dropping Terminators behind so that they've got two fronts now instead of one, not just left and right flank, but they've got the rear to worry about as well. And that's sort of how I play. I just start throwing bits and pieces. I'm not really strategically apt. I just find gaps and just throw things. The pro is that it's very damage heavy. Like you can have small units that put out a lot of damage, especially with the stratagem. You know, you add one to your plasma. You know, overcharge your plasma. You're re-rolling ones with your master and gravis armor anyway. So you're re-rolling your re-rolls of one on your plasmas that are doing, once they wound, you're doing 3 damage. You can pop tanks. You can pop a lot of heavy stuff fairly quickly once that happens. The downside to that is, once again, the fact that it's a small drop army. For the way I play, it's a small drop army. You know, I played against some Tau on yesterday, and he, by sheer weight of numbers, owned me. My tactics weren't the best. I sort of huddled everything and just tried to stay back and shoot long range, and it didn't really work. I need to figure something out to beat him. He did offer me a few bits and pieces for any other Tau players that I'll play in the future, but I really need to look at my list again, as much as I hate to say it, because I was so keen on this list. I was 100%, you know, yeah, this is going to work. This is going to be great. And no, it did some damage. It did some really decent damage once I got within 6 inches of some of his suits and stuff. They started going really quickly, but because I was so far away, you know, there was +2s to hit, and it was a mess. I should have given up, or I should have given up at the end of the second. I gave up at the end of the 3rd turn. I think it was the 3rd turn, because there was just no point. Was
it all crisis suits, or was it all?
There was some hammerheads in there. There was a few suits. It just basically, one Hellblaster that I was using. One of my Hellblasters was 33 points worth, and one of his 5-man squads was 35 points worth. So by sheer weight of dice rolls and numbers of dice, I just couldn't get on top of the battle from the get-go. You know, he had I think it was over 20 drops. It was just groups of 5, just squads and squads and squads. And then, you know, suits with drones, and you know, he's shearing off damage to the drones, and they're taken, and the suit's still coming forward, and I couldn't do anything about it. And it was an eye-opener, because I was so keen on this army. You know, if I would have played it against another Space Marine army or something else that wasn't as hoardy, I would have done a lot better, I think. But I just got overwhelmed by sheer weight of numbers. So my favorite model is actually my Dark Talon. I didn't paint it. I picked it up secondhand. Where is it actually? Just here. It's just the painting of it is really cool. I was really stoked to get this as is. I haven't touched it. It's extremely well painted for my level of painting. So it sort of outclasses most of what I've got on the table at the moment. But I just like it. Once again, I like it because it looked cool. You know, it looked cool in the GW photos. It looked cool when I got it. That's probably my favorite at the moment. So, yeah. So that's your last one, Dave. Where are you at?
My last one is It's got to be my favorite. Yeah, only second to high odds, really. I don't think I can compare them. But I've always admired Nurgle players. That's been the one sort of constant. And I've never really done one like a Nurgle army up until recently. I've always sort of played that good side.
Yep.
Probably wasn't long after I met Ryan. So there's probably some sort of connection.
Bit of connection there, yep.
In that, to be honest. I've always liked the idea of Nurgle, like the war, the whole I'm afraid of death. So in order to do that, Nurgle can keep me going. It's pretty awesome. My favorite number has been 7. I don't know why I didn't do Nurgle army beforehand.
7.
But 7. My favorite number is 7, and I've never did a Nurgle army up until probably in the last about 12 months of playing, really. Favorite model has to be this guy.
The big fat mother-in-law.
Yes, the big mother-in-law himself. Not the most optimum thing to use on the battlefield, this guy. I've still got the other guy still in the box. I still can't decide.
I did see one of him painted up. A mate of mine, Tim, he's got one painted up, and it looked pretty cool yesterday. I did like it.
There's some great ones around. At Irresistible Force, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's got Rodigus painted up, and it's a really nice blue.
Yep.
I think it was there the day you were there too afterwards, and it was a really nice blue sort of wash over it.
Yep.
And it looked really cool. So one of the main reasons why I like Nurgle, apart from lucky number 7, easy to remember, easy to play, great fun. The fluff is fantastic around Papa Nurgle and his love for everything.
And gifts of love and disease and filth and
it finally gives me a reason as to why I get run down and sick all the time. It's just Papa Nurgle.
Or the swine flu that you actually carry. It's just because of Papa Nurgle.
It's just Papa Nurgle. It's fine. He's just looking after me. It's great because I'm no painter, and plague bearers for days.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, plague. Yeah, I started to use plague bearers for my 40k, and I did like they're pretty cool.
I'm just looking over my shoulder, reaching this. There's just
How many? Honestly, how many have you got there? We're looking 80, 100. Try and show us. Give us a look.
In this tray, I've probably got. Hang on, I'll throw these up for you. I'll see if I can get them in there for you.
Get them falling over.
They're all falling over. There's a whole bunch here. It is ridiculous at the moment, and there is just there's about 40 more that are sitting there in a box. I don't play to win games. I kind of like the whole thematic army style play. So
that's how I sort of play as well. I'm not there to be an asshat. I'm not there to win. I'm there to roll dice, and if there's beers, there's beers. To chat and just have a good time, to spend time with peeps.
It's just having fun, rolling dice. I want to put together a Nurgle army that is just like a great unclean one. The Swappity Bowl Piper playing his bagpipes.
Yeah, I saw that model. That's cool with the sassy Nurgling at the bottom, and
I just want to have him with a whole bunch of Nurglings, just like mucking around on the battlefield. And then just a whole bunch of plague bearers sitting around the place. Like, I did go to an event where I just took a great unclean one and a whole bunch of 50 plague bearers. And it was good fun. It was easy to remember. It was great fun rolling dice.
Yeah, were you just rolling buckets of dice?
Yeah, it really was just let's just buff and give the extra attack to the plague bearers and watch them walk up, and you'd lose a few. I look battle shock. I look, they're back again.
Yeah.
Just this endless horde of just disgustingly resilient.
Disgustingly resilient is great. It's I
can't roll a normal save. if my life depended on it. But as long as I got disgustingly resilient on my side, I've got 5 up for days. I can do that, no worries at all.
No, that's cool.
So yeah, I think I remember I did count back 1 unit of 30 plague bearers that I did run. I managed to pass over the course of a game. They had to make 122 saves.
Oh, what? Are you serious?
And they just shrugged it off, and it was just this. Let's just keep playing rounds until this is just completely ridiculous. And they just kept coming back and coming back, and it
kept rolling down the board and just kept going and going and going.
Kept off and kept coming back. You'd muck around, you get battle shock, you'd leave them alone for a while, he'd whiff all his saves, they'd come back, smack a couple, and we just said, you know what, just a weekend of gaming like that, just this ongoing epic battle of just this line from one end of the table to the other.
Yeah.
And it was just stupid. Just everyone's making saves, everyone's knocking stuff back. It's just, sheer war of attrition. But yeah, Papa Nurgle sort of struck a chord with me, and I have gone a little bit overboard. I am in the.
There's no such thing as going overboard. There's as similar as there's no such thing as not enough backer. Like,
that's why I'm only doing a small orc army, because if I progress that any further than the 60 guys I've got at the moment, it's all over. This whole room is just going to be, you won't see me if I start doing an orc army.
Have the wall and just shells and just shit everywhere.
That's what it's basically going to be like, because I think I showed you before on the hand side is just like I've got about 90 old Chaos Warriors.
Yep.
That they're just going to be there. It's I don't know. They're kind of expensive. They do their job, but yeah, I'd just love to get a game in where I'm just marching those armies forward. There's a common theme with me. Can't paint to save my life, so anything that I can just wash and dry brush and get away with, fantastic.
Oh, you lazy human!
It's great. It's fantastic. I can smash out like a box of plague bearers. To me, probably about an hour and 10 minutes or so, and then go to paint them, and you just sit there, just like, washed.
Yeah, I did the same with box bearers. I just primed them white, and then just got purple wash and just went, and then painted some blood for the blood god and a bit of Nurgle's Rot, and I'm like, no, that's it, you're done. Like maybe a bit of brown for some pants, and I think I did some silver on the hammers and stuff, bits and pieces. But as a whole, it's just white wash, bit of brown. See you later. Like that's it.
You probably won't be able to see that there. I'll take up some close-ups and put them on the page, but. There's about 14 washes on that.
What?
And it's just black, brown, green, red, purple, brown. Because I can't paint to save my life, I'm the sort of painter who has been known to get a nice little wash mix together and just go.
There are third-party companies that actually promote that. They have their wash in a liter or two, and you literally just dip it. I think it's Army Painter. You literally just dip in the top, and that's it. Like that's how you wash.
Yep, that's my language, because they work. That works really well for plague bearers and things, because no one's going to really look at them up close, or at least
no one cares. There's so many of them.
That's it. There's so many of them. You just sort of dunk there, wash, dunk. Okay, next layer. Yep. And then you might pin wash or something like that on a few of them if you really like them. But they're just really cool models. Like these just plague-infested things that turn up. It's like Nurglings.
Yeah.
Without fail, if I've got a spare 100 points in an army, I've got to put the 3 Nurglings in there.
Yeah, just because it's thematic, because they look cool, because you want that in it.
And they go so well, because with the battle tome, your extra contagion points for getting behind enemy lines and getting those Nurglings up in there. Just hide them somewhere, and this little tar pit unit that regens its wounds if they don't kill the whole base just stands there.
Yeah, sure.
You have someone just trying to charge you with a beefy unit, and you're just like, Nurgling.
Yeah. And just wrecks their whole day.
Yeah, he's like, why are you doing that? Why are you charging Nurglings in that? They're not going to do well. No, they're not designed to do well, but they're going to stock you for 2 turns.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like they're not. They are there to be meat, to distract and to annoy, really.
Yeah, and I'd love to run a whole. I don't know. Nurgling's a bit too pricey on the wallet.
Dollars wise, like actual walking into the shop and buying the pack.
Actually walking in and buying them. You only get 3 in a pack, but I'd love to get a whole little run of Nurglings out there and just get Morgan Twice Born and have that little Nurgling. I mean, I don't know whether you'd win any games with it, probably not, but I reckon it'd be kind of cool just to. Here's just what are you putting out on the table? Nurglings.
Can you imagine that though? Like you just rock up and just start
just a couple of units and then just
tip it all out, Nurglings, and then just upright the bases, and then you're good.
Yeah, just get a couple of little units, little warriors or a little, plague bearer unit or something like that to wander around, and then just like Nurgling.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Did
Go
you,
out,
you want to convert them into 40k as well or something?
Yeah, I'm really keen because I could pull out my 40k rule book, but it's currently in its shrink wrap.
Oh,
I haven't got that far yet. It's all been about Age of Sigmar.
Well, you're a book behind anyway because you need chapter approved now as well. So you're already.
That's it. I may as well to stick to my battle tome. I will stick to the one thing that really matters. Yeah, see, that's all you need.
No.
Probably in the General's Handbook, but that's a minor point.
But just make up the rules as you go.
Yeah, why not? Just it all works. So we'll see what happens.
Nah. Cool. So that's your last army, isn't it? Actually,
yeah, that's mine. And I don't know. Like you're the 40k player, and everyone else there's probably got more ideas than me because I haven't played a game of 8th edition in my life, and it will probably take me several months to do so. How on earth would I go moving an Age of Sigmar Nurgle army into the realms of 40k? Because I keep hearing there's a lot of crossover and seeing, Plague Bearers and the Great Unclean One popping up and
I don't think it's going to be that hard. Honestly, I don't. Like you buy a codex, but I really don't. I don't think it would be that hard. You would have to buy a few other models, of course. But it beats buying, high elves or whatever. Anything beats high elves. But yeah, I really don't think it'd be that hard. So you get a codex, you get your chapter approved, you unwrap your rule book.
That'd be a good start.
Yeah, that'd be a great start. Yeah, I don't really think it'd be that hard. Put stuff on round bases.
Oh no.
And that'd be it.
Get some of those blight drones, those little weird looking stock things.
Blight drones, they're cool. I've got a couple of those myself. They actually work really well. I like them when I was playing. I used them in my Chaos army. They were pretty cool. They cause a lot of damage. The way I played them anyway. They move pretty quickly as well. They're a good little unit. They're worth the points, absolutely. For me, for the way I play. But I don't really think it'd be that hard to get you into 40k bar unwrapping that fucking book.
I might get there eventually.
Maybe, yeah. And Christmas will come, and then the next Christmas will come, and then you'll be 2 behind because there'll be 2 chapter approved books, and yeah, you'll be
40k
19. But we forgot something in the rumors as well. Now that we've finished talking about armies, it's talking about square bases. We actually had a tweet come through that we saw that Forge World is bringing out Warhammer Fantasy Battle again. So all you people that had the butt hurt, that had the salt to that douchebag that burned his army on YouTube, recast them and repaint them champ because apparently it's all coming back. No real date yet, but the source that we've seen it from is incredibly reliable. You know, it's if he's come up with a lot beforehand. You know, it was passed, you know, through the chain to us. We got it probably second or third hand, but it was the same picture that came down that we saw. And all you 9th age players sucked in. That's all I'm saying.
So I should just keep rebasing. So
can you? Dude, you need to like magnetize bases or some shit. Like I know we had a quick chat about this before, but fuck, man, you need to just like have magnet bases and shit, and just flick them between the two. Well, that'll be 3 systems now. That'll be AOS, Fantasy, and 40k. Like
a little, like a 32 mil round that you know you can slot a 25 mil square into with a little magnet.
Just have these holes cutting like base section. You just put one into the other, and you just keep going like that.
Because I spent all Easter weekend doing this, so that I can sit down and start playing with the extra Chaos Warriors out there, and get them all up to the current standard. Everyone kept moving and going, oh, we're only going to accept, you know, square bases if you put them on top of a round, and that looks pretty ugly.
Hang on,
because all these Age of Sigmar events now, things are starting to move towards that round base. You know, is the go-to. So if you want to play and you're still stuck on squares and you don't want to rebase your 25 mil square, they'll let you play, but you just blue tack it onto a 32 mil.
Are you serious? You got blue tack some shit onto a 32 and then you're right to go. Like, are you
just pop him off? He's ready to go.
Oh God! How can you be so fucking petty?
So now I'm going to put him back on there again. But yeah, so now I've sort of stuff it. I'm going to redo the whole lot. I'm going to have them all done nice, neat, and pretty. And now you're coming out with this going, hang on, maybe I should just wait and see what progresses.
Well, yeah, and then you can give me your 40k. Give me your 40k rulebook, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
No need to go to 40k because you'll just go back to where you were in the first place anyway.
I'll go back to square one, or I'll just, once Age of Sigmar Champions comes out, I'll just start collecting cards and I'll be fine.
Sell all your Pokemon cards and then go into that.
Yeah. I'll just kick that off and just sit there with that. I'll just amass the cards and I'll be fine.
Oh my God.
I won't be hurt at all if I just finish rebasing and they say, oh, no, sorry, you can go back to 25s.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh, so many people would just flip. I feel the pain. Like if this comes through, what do you really think they'd go back to square bases though? Like
they'll probably go, here you go, here's your fantasy battles back, but they're on round.
But they're on round. That would make more sense.
Well, then they might just change it slightly. Just put all the make it universal and just bump everyone up another notch.
Well, yeah.
If you are on 32s, you can go to a 40.
Also, Terminator size bases. Why not? So you got a blue tack at 25 onto a 32 onto a 40, and you'd be right.
Yeah, you got a tower. Hey, that's probably how you get your little terrain piece, where you get your little blue tent standing on top, holding your sword out. You're just like, yeah, just here's my 16 different bases sizes.
And step them up. That's insane. Oh, dude.
Just make them all, just random down, bit of green stuff or a bit of putty, and then make them, you know, like a little rock face. It was right down to the edge, and they just all clip on.
That's actually not a stupid idea.
I'm going to write that down right now. I'll forget.
Yeah, do write that down. Oh, well, we've got it on YouTube now, so we're good. We got it. So from there, I think that's all we got for our armies. You think we're pretty much good for that?
We are, I think.
Yeah. So basically, we'll get into now is the competition or the giveaways that we've got. So we were only supposed to give away a box tonight, but don't care. I'm giving away 3, or we're giving away 3. So we put up out onto onto our Facebook page about work in progress. You know, a lot of people have a lot of work in progress. A lot of people don't get around to doing. Me, you, everyone has something that they need to be done. Whether they're buying more models because other models aren't there, or you know, whatever else. Yeah, it's always a bugbear, and you never ever finish. If you say you finished everything that you want to do, you're a liar, and I'll pop you in the chin. Like, it's as easy as that. There's nothing that's gonna stop me from not believing you. So you know, we've had a heap of guys and girls, actually. A couple of girls have put some stuff in, and some of the stuff is really good. Is the paint in it, everything is amazing. So David, if you want to start with what you've got, and then we'll throw up some of the other ones.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty mediocre right now.
Yeah.
So if you'll see my screen, this is my little Easter weekend away. I thought I'll crack on and get some additions for Nurgle. And here's my little efforts.
Your little box, yep.
Little box.
Okay. These nice little trays.
Yeah, I thought I'd get myself organised because I really need to crack on and get some painting done, and to make myself feel a little bit better about how many grey plastic models I try and have assembled but not get painted.
Do you, hang on, just wait one sec. In that picture there, you've got horses. Is it horses on square bases or rectangle bases? Do you not have to put them on oval bike bases? Like, what's the deal for AOS?
Yeah, they're going to go to an oval base in Age of Sigmar, and so they're all going to come off those bases and go to ovals.
Yep.
Which is just this is my work in progress tray over here to work out what I actually have to get done.
Yep.
And I've given myself until the beginning of the second week in May to have all those painted and done, which should be achievable for a Muppet like myself.
Well, you would hope so.
Yeah. And this is my parking lot now with the rumor around fantasy battles is I'm not rebasing all of those.
Oh, look at all. Oh, look at that. That's, yeah.
So yeah, rebasing's pretty simple. I mean, you put them all into an ice cube tray and put them in the freezer for a bit, and off they pop. But
yep.
It's a fair bit of work to move them all around. But going with a snow theme, as you might see in the top right hand corner,
yeah,
which should be pretty cool.
I can see why you've got a bag full of bases now. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. It's taken a fair while to get there, and they're all ready to go. It's just sort of now got to pull the trigger and actually get it done, and a bit of procrastination going on here.
Sort your shit out.
I'll get there, but that's my horrible work in progress. It's got nothing on these next guys.
Yeah. Let's get and show everyone these next few pictures, because So this is from a chick named Fiona. I am blown away by this. If this is a work in progress, I want to see the final product, because this is just. I have no words, really. I wish I could paint a half as good as where this is at right now.
I'd love to know how long it takes to do that.
Yeah, I can't even. I cry because I'll never be that good, I think.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just going to leave the Nurgle on the floor tonight and pick them up.
Get them covered in actual dirt and crunk, and then that's your paint. Just run with it.
Just look at that. It's beautiful.
It is straight out beautiful.
The base, they're starting to work on the little.
It looks like a rock formation or the top of a castle or something. It's got like a window down the bottom I can see in there with that whole thing as it sits there is just phenomenal. I don't know what else to say. I really can't. I've got nothing.
Because I want to see this thing finished. So Fiona, if you're watching this, and please keep us updated with how that goes.
Finished product of this model, because that is just amazing. The next one we've got. Oh, so this is Michael.
Yeah, this is Michael.
But Michael's in Maryland in the US, so he's doing some converts, and from what I've seen,
going from the Goliath.
yeah, they he's basically chopped off a looks like it's not an auto cannon. It's he's converted or kit bashed that dude on the right hand side there. That's for sure. I think everything in there, even the one at the back has been kit bashed. I think that's is that a last cannon at the back? I think that he's holding. But and this is why this is my favorite part of the hobby is chopping and gluing and making something that's different that not everyone has, to be your own special little snowflake of sorts,
Like the rank and file little upright miniatures that all look the same coming out of the box. Don't be afraid to mix and match pieces.
Yeah,
it is recommended, but you may end up gluing your fingers together.
Yeah, I'm all about doing this sort of stuff. So the next one we've got is Robert. So that's his fist army. That looks pretty cool.
Anyone who paints yellow, props to you guys.
Yeah.
Anyone who can pull it off, you're next level.
Give you props for one for doing it in the first place, and two, if you can pull it off really, really well. That's probably a better yellow than I could ever. I'm a ham-fisted fuck when it comes to yellow. I just don't even bother. I've tried doing it, super thin like ink. I've tried, a little bit thicker than the God Emperor Duncan prescribes. I just can't get it. I'm a retard. So, Robert, dude, it looks cool. The next one.
The next one. Look at this thing.
It's just too big. The fact that Scott, that you've gone out and wanted to paint this and put it together and are at this stage and it's uncoated and it looks even just primed or undercoated, whatever you want to call it, at this stage it looks cool. And the thing is, I can see in there's detail that's going to be painful and it's going to take forever. And the thing is, from what I can see, and this is how I'll look at it, once it's done, it's going to look so cool. Like you bring that out and put that on the table and someone goes, holy shit, look at that. And you're like, yeah, I painted that. You've got to feel good about that for wanting to do it in the first place.
I hope it gets to see the table.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a shame to not. Like, yeah, it'd be cool as a showpiece, but dude, get it out on the table and start blowing shit up. Do it.
I'd love to play against that. It's like, oh no, I don't want to play against them. Why not?
I would just aim every single hell blaster at that and just try and just keep dumping stratagems and just keep trying to kill it.
You would.
So our next one is that Alex Bennett? Yeah, so he's done crude. So from what he's said to us, he's kit bash / converted, whatever, every single model that he's going to do. Like, he sent about 3 or 4 pictures through to us, and every single model has something different about it to make it unique for his army. If that's not commitment to a horde army, I don't know what is. I am blown away by the level of commitment in this army and the potential for this army.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to do Fire Warriors for Tau, but I don't know, Crude. I'd happily do a Crude army. They just look cool. They've got so many options, or there's so many different ways you can customize them and make them look unique.
And I swear to God, like those bow things that he's got there, the white parts, I swear that they're like chopper chop sticks. Like, this dude must just smash through chopper chops.
I was wondering that,
Like, if someone in his family would possibly potentially have diabetes. I don't know where you'd get little sticks like that, but that's the only thing I can think of. So who's this one? So this is Nolan?
This is Nolan from Alberta.
Yes.
BC.
So this is one of his rhinos that he started to paint up. Dude, painting is painting. Getting better is getting better. I I was worse when I started. I salute you for going with the metallic colors in with it, and even going to the point of you know, in with the chains and around the ends and on the ends of the smoke launcher, and even just all the little bits and pieces that he's put in there. And then, you know, the rest, and tied that in with the rest in the background with the rest of his army. Dude, it's cool. I love it.
Yeah, it's looking good. Couple of highlights, and you got yourself a good-looking little force.
Yeah. And then the last one we've got is Jared Hansen. Now, this is cool.
Tell me about the dogs.
I don't really care much for the dog in the background.
Finish with the theme.
Dog, wolf, yeah, all right, I suppose. That looks like Lucas the Trickster on the left-hand side there. But the base for the center model, these sorts of pictures just make me cry, because I don't think I'll ever get to this level of painting ever. Like, yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah, the facial features, the claws,
you know, the animal cloak on the back. That I would love to be able to get to this level. You know, I'm a mediocre. I'm an okay painter. I'm a basic tabletop painter at best. That's where I put myself. But this, you know, to put these on the table and things look that good. You know, the detail on the claw, is on the lightning claw there. It's just insane. It's cool. So that's all our submissions. Now that's it. So now we'll get to my one. So my work in progress started about 9 months ago, probably a bit longer actually, probably 12 months ago. I thought it would be cool to make some terrain, and that was about it. I did a bit of looking, and thought, oh yeah, I'll go with a Imperium style city. You know, I'd like some sort of cathedral. I'd like some sort of factory, and then, you know, and then something else. I flicked through some YouTube videos and found a guy on YouTube, Terranscapes. He gave me a great idea for one of my buildings. And this is it actually behind me. So what I'm going to do is just grab my camera and see if you guys can see what I'm at and what we're going up against, or what I'm going up against. So I've got my where are we at? There we go. So this is my cathedral, basically. This was probably one of the easier ones to build. This top section here was pretty hard to build. I'm not the best. I'm a little bit ham-fisted. This is my my factory, or my manufactorum, or whatever you want to call it. So there's 3 parts to this. They're 3 independent pieces, and I've actually built bridges to slot in between, and they go in between there, so I can link them up or not if I want to. I've got my my Storm Raven in the back there for pretty much scale of my buildings. And then this is my administratium, whatever you want to call it here. Now this was one of the hardest I've ever had to build, or ever built or thought about building, because of the front stairs here. Now this is a direct, no shame copy of the Terranscapes video. That took me hours and hours. I would love to say years, but it felt like years. This is the one that I'm probably the most proud of to build. But this is, as a whole, this is my work in progress. I have a lot to do. So, as we said before, there we go. Based on, you know, trying to see who can outdo me for technicality or size or whatever else, the 3 winners that we've chosen is David. Who have we got?
We have
Fiona for one with the dragon at the beginning.
Yeah, Fiona's one. Got to keep us updated with how that goes. That's got to be
absolutely. So with these three people that have won tonight, so we've got a box of Retributors that we're going to send out to you guys. Please get in contact with us and let us know. Give us your address, whatever. Just get in contact with us, and we'll get these out to you as soon as we can. So we've got, was it Fiona for one? The other one was Scott Gray.
Yep. And
the last one was Jared Hansen. So they're our 3 for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for those contributions to the page and helping us see how pitiful we are in our hobby. Basically, I have no words.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. Looking at some of those, but seriously, guys, Fiona, Scott, Jared. Message the AUSHAMMER page. We'll get your prizes out to you. We'll get some details off you. And thank you very much to the good guys at Irresistible Force at Tanamera for donating the prizes tonight.
Absolutely. Those guys have always been great for us and great to us, always supporting. But yeah, thank you very much to Irresistible Force from me as well. So, and on that note, I think that's us for the night, isn't it?
That's us for a night. That's a wrap, guys.
Cool. All right, Dave, you want to take us out and then we're good?
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for watching the 2 new guys on AUSHAMMER tonight. Hopefully, we'll catch you next week with the professionals.
All right. Catch you later, guys.
Catch you later.
Peace.